Hi, I'm Hyooge and welcome to Hyooge Gaming. You're joining me for the first video of what will hopefully be a series of videos where I take you through a Gloomhaven solo campaign. I'm using two characters, initially a scoundrel and a brute, but this may change as we go along. I'm playing in softcore mode, which means players, or characters rather, will exhaust rather than die. And I'll be using Photoshop for this playthrough, so hopefully it'll make it a little easy for you to follow along with what's happening. If you are interested in doing something for yourself that's along the same lines, let me know in the comments and I'll try and make a video in the future about how I went through this process. All the elements that you'll be able to see on your screen are things that I've just found on the internet pretty easily and freely. So let's get started. First I'm just going to go through the elements that you can see on the screen. So let's do it. So the first thing you'll see here is the map overlay. So everything here is on its own separate layer. So for example, I can move the scoundrel and that will be able to be moved independently of the brute and whatever monster cards there are, as well as any overlay tiles that are in the room. At the top of the screen, this is the area where I'll show the two cards that I've chosen for each of the characters in that round. The red square will indicate the card that I've chosen for its initiative value. So if this was the first round, for example, I'd be using Thief's Knack and using 23 initiative for my scoundrel, while Provoking Roar would give me the initiative of 10 that I'll be using for my brute. To the right of this, I've got the brute's equipment cards. He's using a minor healing potion and the iron helmet. And on the other side I've got the scoundrel's equipment cards, the cloak of invisibility and the power potion. Further to the left here, this is the attack modifiers for the characters. I'll try and show these as they occur. I'm using a separate app, an off-screen app to determine the attack modifiers for the characters, but I'll try and update it after each card is turned. Below this we've got the Gloomhaven Helper, which is a great app, companion app for Gloomhaven. It's excellent for keeping track of our character total hit points and whatever effects they've got on them, as well as of course the enemies, keeping track of their hit points and whether they're disarmed or they've got wounds or whatever the case may be. It also keeps track of our experience. We can add experience or gold, keep track of that as well. The monsters have their own attack modifier deck down here, and at the top we've got our elements board, so everything refreshes at the end of each turn too. So it's a lot less to worry about when you're playing Gloomhaven with the Gloomhaven Helper. So with all that being said, let's do a bit of an introduction to this first scenario, Black Barrow. Now when you're starting new characters and a new campaign, you have to do a few things, draw a few cards, for example quests and whatnot. So let's have a look at what our scoundrel has drawn as far as his personal quest goes. So he's drawn the card Merchant Class. He obviously wants to set up a shop in the future. He needs to own between 2 and 4 of these equipment items. Once he has that, he can retire and we can open this box here. As for the brute, we've drawn Battle Legend. He wants to become a legend. So his goal is to earn 15 ticks or perks from perk ticks from completed battle goals. Then we get to open this box here and he retires. While we're in the city, we need to complete our city event. So let's have a look at that. This is the card that I drew, number 5. So we're rested for the evening, but we've noticed some posters around the city. We either decide to help lay the foundation for a new building for the Sanctuary of the Great Oak, or we go around and steal some things while people are distracted. So being a good law-abiding citizen, blah blah blah, I've decided to go help lay the foundation. So let's see what the result of that is. Okay, so we chose A. Amidst the revelry, a lot of good has been done here. We're exhausted, but we gain and lose these things. We lose 1 perk tick we don't have any perk ticks, so we can ignore that. We gain 1 reputation and 1 prosperity. Now the road event is what you will draw on the way to your scenario. So for my road event, I have drawn this one, number 29. Walking towards our scenario, we've found a rock slide. We can either decide to attempt to clear the stones, or we backtrack and find a way around. I've chosen option B. Clearing the stones sounds like too much hard work, so let's see the results. We turn around, but we have a confrontation with some wolves. We fend them off, but they leave us wounded. We both start the scenario with 1 wound. Now wounds take place, you receive 1 point of damage at the start of each of your turns. They can be healed when you are healed with a potion or one of the cards. So it would be nice to get rid of that pretty early on, otherwise it's going to reduce us by 1 point of damage each and every turn that we have for each of our characters. Here are our scenario goals. The top 2 are the cards I drew for the Brute. So he's drawn Plunderer and Layabout. We get to choose one of these. And the Plunderer is looting a treasure overlay tile during the scenario for 1 tick, or a Layabout. We gain 7 or fewer experience points during the scenario. I prefer not to be limited by trying to do as less as possible, so I'm going to choose Plunderer. We'll try and loot a treasure overlay tile during the scenario. For our Scoundrel, we have Dynamo or Hunter. For Dynamo, we have to kill a monster by causing at least 4 more points of damage to it than is necessary. Bit of overkill, so we get 1 tick for that. Or Hunter, we kill 1 or more elite monsters during the scenario. I think that is probably the greater possibility. They're both for 1 tick. We're going to choose Hunter. So Plunderer and Hunter are our 2 cards for this scenario. Okay, so our heroes have made it to the Black Barrow. They're in the first room. They've encountered 3 enemies, 2 bandit guards, normals, and 1 elite bandit guard. So first thing we'll do is we'll spawn these guys in. Number 2 and number 4 normal, and then number 3 is the elite. So I'm going to go with these cards first of all. We're going to use Backstab and Quick Hands using the initiative 6 of the Backstab for our Scoundrel, and Provoking Roar and Grab and Go for the Brute, using 10 for our initiative. So let's put those in. We've got 10 for the Brute and 0.6 for the Scoundrel, and we draw. So you can see that they will move, they will attack, but they will attack with range. So it might be a good idea for our guys to get right in close, put some pressure on them, and then maybe when they do attack, they might not be able to get into range for their ranged attack, which means that hopefully they'll be at a disadvantage when they do attack us. So let's move with our Scoundrel first. We can move up to 6 spots. So we'll use the move of Backstab to go 1, 2 spots. Probably just that one rather than that. Then we're just using Quick Hands. We've already moved, so we don't need to move again. We will attack for 2. And we've drawn a +0, so our attack stays at 2. And we were attacking the elite. We want to put pressure on him right from the beginning. Now fortunately the elite has a shield too, which needs to be taken into account, so our attack of 2 only becomes 1. So that goes down to 9. Now it's our Brute's turn, so he will also move closer to the elite, and he will use the Provoking Roar to attack for 2 and disarm him, so he won't be able to attack this turn. And we have drawn a 2 times modifier, which is awesome. So Our attack of 2 becomes 4, -1 for the shield means we attack him for 3, and we disarm him. So that's our character's turn done. Now the bandit guards. In order, the elite will do his action first, so he will move even though he's unable to attack this turn. So the scoundrel is the focus of his attack, so he will move 1 as if he had an attack, but of course he cannot attack. So his turn is finished. Now number 2, the bandit guard number 2, his focus is also Scoundrel X the Scoundrel. So he will move his 2 spots and move here, which will put him in a position where he can fire and he will not be at a disadvantage in attacking. So he'll draw his card and he draws a -1, so his attack of 3 becomes a 2. So we remove 2 from the scoundrel, and now we move on to bandit number 4. Bandit number 4, they're equal distance away, so the scoundrel with the higher initiative is the one who he will aim at, and he doesn't have to move anywhere because he is within the range already. He also gets a -1. So again, it's 2 more points of damage to the scoundrel. So that's the end of the first round. I'll take a look at the next round's cards and we'll go from there. At this point I made a real rookie mistake. When you turn off the microphone you should always turn it back on. So I'll do a bit of voiceover for this section of the video. Okay, on this turn we're going to use Flanking Strike and Special Mixture for our Scoundrel, and Eye for an Eye and Trample for the Brute, using 4 initiative and 18 initiative. We draw 55 for the Bandit Guard, so they're going to act after both of our characters. They're going to move, attack, and they're going to strengthen themselves. So the strengthen will take effect, I believe this happens at the end of their turn, so that should continue up until the end of their next turn. It just means that they'll gain advantage on their attacks. So we'll use Special Mixture to move our Scoundrel. We're going to put him right in front of the elite, and we can also poison. We can target one adjacent enemy. So we'll do that. We'll add poison to the elite because we really want to get rid of him first of all. So there we go. We'll add the poison icon there. Now for our second action we're going to use the top part of Flanking Strike, which means that we attack for 3, and we're able to attack. We're able to add 2 attack and 1 experience because the enemy is adjacent to one of our allies. When the target is adjacent to one of our allies, so we'll be able to attack for 3, add 2, making it 5, plus 1 for the poison makes it 6. But he does have a shield, so it'll go down to 5. It'll go down to 5 with the shield, so it puts him down to 1 health. Now on the Brute's turn he's going to use Eye for an Eye to heal Scoundrel X for a couple of points. So we're going to use Eye for an Eye and heal for 2 points. We're going to heal Scoundrel X for 2 points. We don't want to get too low in health, and we add green to the room. In the next part of our turn we're going to use Trample to attack the elite for 3 points of damage. We have Pierce as well, so that really negates his shield. We attack for 3, we get a +0 attack modifier, which is more than enough to kill him off. So we remove him from the board. Now the other 2 guards have their chance to move. So number 2 will act first. He can move 2 spaces and then attack the Brute, as the Brute will be the focus, the closest enemy. So he moves right next to the Brute. He'll take a swing for +0, which means that his attack will be for 3. And he'll strengthen himself, which I believe should only expire at the end of the next turn, so he'll gain advantage until the end of his next turn. Bandit Guard number 4. he will focus his attention on the Scoundrel. The Brute and Scoundrel are both 2 spaces away, but because the Scoundrel did move higher in initiative, he becomes the focus of the attack. So he'll take a swing at him for +2. Alright, so that makes it an attack of 5. I'm just going to have to negate that damage, I think. It's far too much to... It's far too much to take on. So at this point I'm going to remove a card. So I did actually lose Venom Shiv on that last turn with my random discard, which is unfortunate, but that's the way it goes. So we've got Thief Snack and Single Out on this turn that we'll be using. So 23 for our Scoundrel, and we're going to use 15 Shield Bash and Sweeping Blow for our Brute. Let's do the draw. They're going to move on 30, so they'll leave us to do our attacks first. For his first action, the Brute is going to shield himself for 1. So that'll be for whatever attacks transpire on this turn. He'll gain 1 shield. And he'll also attack. He'll use Sweeping Blow to attack for 2, and he can use that hexagon pattern there to attack both of those enemies for 2 points of damage. So on the first attack we attacked number 2, we gained a +1. So that gave us 3 damage to number 2 Bandit Guard. Let's change him, he moves down to 3. And we also drew a +1 for our number 4 Bandit Guard. So exactly the same thing, we moved them down to 3 each. I'll add those icons for their strength, because that should have, I believe, stayed until the end of this turn to give them the advantage on their attacks. So at this point the Scoundrel will will take their turn. We're going to use Single Out and activate that, so for the next 4 attacks we're going to gain +2 to our attack when the enemy is adjacent to none of their allies. So that's the first part of our attack, and then we're going to use a general attack with Thieves' Knack, just the top part of the card, but we're not using the, we've got no trap to disarm obviously, and we gain a +1 modifier, so we were able to get the 3 damage that we needed to remove that number 4 Bandit Guard from the equation. We've added our coins. There's a bit of a coin collection being mounting up there. Now it's a Bandit Guard's turn, so he's got the advantage. He's going to have a swing at the Brute. He's got an attack of 2, and because of the advantage, he goes up to 3, but -1 for the shield, so it stayed at a attack of 2. So we're ready for the next round now. I'll move Single Out down here, and one thing I did notice actually is I have a 2nd edition version of the Gloomhaven game. What I noticed was the first and third times that you use Single Out, the bottom part, you don't gain experience. So I'm going to use it according to my card that I have in front of me, so I'm not going to give myself the +1 experience for the first and third times that I use this action, gain that +2, but I'll just use it on the 2nd and 4th times that I use it, obviously. So on this turn we're going to use Backstab and Smoke Bomb for our Scoundrel, and we're going to use Warding Strength and Leaping Cleave for our Brute. So what I'd really like to do is I wanted to move into the next room with as much movement as possible, and I didn't have the cards available to me, so I needed to actually take a short rest. And unfortunately I lost Flanking Strike, and I needed to take 1 damage because I drew a card that I didn't want to lose. So I lost Flanking Strike, which ironically has a real big move on it, but anyway, it can't be helped. So I'd really like to move into that second room, use the smoke bomb, which is going to make me invisible and then mean that the turn, the next attack on that will be for double damage, which I really need to make the most of. For the brute, we're going to use cleave to hopefully get rid of that number 2 bandit, and we're going to bring in our warding strength, which will give us shields on the next 6 attacks, and a bit of experience too. So let's add in 6 and 32 for our initiative, and we've drawn a number 50 for the bandit guard. So that's a move 3, attack 3. So our scoundrel is going to do his big move. So the first 3 moves will take us to the door. Now let's open up this door and see what's inside. Alright, so we've opened up the room, and that shows us a really long room. There's 2 traps guarding the door to the third area. We've got 1 elite archer sitting at the end of the room, and we've got 2 normal bandit guards about 3 spaces away from us. So let's add those in, numbers 5 and 1. And the elite bandit archer as well, he's number 6. So the bandit archer is going to move directly after us, after our scoundrel that is. So what I wanted to do, I really wanted to block him, because I'm using smoke bomb to turn invisible. So I've moved up there, and what I really want is that elite archer to move as close to me as possible. So hopefully he will, hopefully the scoundrel won't have to move anywhere. And because I've got double damage on my next attack, I really want to make it count. So if possible, I'd love to get, I'd love to kill him in my first attack. So I'll just add the invisibility icon just to remind myself that I am invisible. Now it's the bandit archer's turn. So he's going to move 4 spaces. He has a range of 5 and an attack of 2. So he'll move 1, 2, 3, 4. He can't move anymore. He can't go through me. He's not going to sit in the trap. He can't go anywhere else. So, and he's too far away from the brute to attack. Unfortunately, just 1 hex too far. That's a shame. The brute is going to use Leaping Cleave. That gives him a +1, and with that it's more than enough again to kill off that that bandit there. He drops a coin for us, and for the other part of our turn we're just going to use warding strength. So now the bandit guards have their turn. They move 3. The number 5 guard only gets in behind. Neither of them can obviously attack. The brute is the focus of their attack because my scoundrel is invisible, and I'm just adding in that +1 experience from the Leaping Cleave, I think it was, attack that I just made in that turn. That's the end of the round, so let's move to the next round. I do want to attack that elite archer for as much damage as possible, and that means possibly using Thieves' Knack, which has an attack 3 in the bottom section, but the top section of the card has the disarm and adjacent trap. I don't really want to take that trap damage walking through one of those traps, so I'm going to hold on to Thieves' Knack even though the damage would have been really good, and I'm just going to use Special Mixture and Quick Hands. So we'll poison and then we'll attack with Quick Hands in that order, and use 33 as our initiative, while Max will use Spare Dagger and Overwhelming Assault. We'll see how he acts, because we're both moving sort of mid-turn So it's quite possible that one of the archer or the bandits might move before us. So we've got a couple of options anyway. So we need to use our smoke bomb too. So I want to try and do as much damage as possible. Let's see how the turn works. So scoundrel first, 33. We've got our brute at 27. Let's draw. Alright, there we go. So that's not a great result because they shield and they will retaliate. So if my brute attacks in melee, he'll get retaliated on. But he does have spare dagger, so he can attack from range. So we might just have to go with that, and we might just have to go pick up some coins or something for the bottom part of our turn. But the bandit guards, number 1 and number 5, they will just shield themselves. Now it's our brute's turn, so let us see what we'll do. I think we'll first we'll move on to this square here, and we'll pick up a couple of gold pieces for ourselves. And then we'll attack 3 with a range of 3, and we'll gain an experience. So I'll use spare dagger, attack 3, we have a modifier of -1, so that makes it an attack 2. We're just going to attack the number 1 bandit guard there, and he has a shield of 1, so that goes down to 1 point of damage. He can't retaliate because it's not a melee attack, so a little bit disappointing there, didn't do a great deal of damage at all. And now let's move on to the bandit archer. So I'm going to move 3. So on their turn, move 3, attack 2 with a range of 6, I think that says, and immobilize. So that's not great for our brute because he'll be stuck in position there, and it'll make getting into the third room that much longer. Anyway, Alright, so the elite archer, 1, 2, 3. I don't think there's any reason for him to move a 4th space because he's in range. He's going to attack for 2 and immobilize, so let's see, +0. And we've got warding strength there, of course, so we can negate one of those damage points, so that'll take us down to 4, but it does immobilize him as well, so he won't be able to move until the end of his next turn. The other negative that has on us is that with our scoundrel we can't use single out now because the bandit archer is next to one of his allies, so we can't add +2, which is a real bummer. But despite that, we'll go ahead with the plan. So we're going to use special mixture to move just 1, and we'll poison 1 adjacent enemy, which is our friendly bandit archer there. And then we're going to use quick hands. We don't need to move, we'll just use the attack on that. So the top part of quick hands for 2 damage. We will also use our pot that we have here. This will give us +1 attack to all of our attacks in this turn. So that'll make it an attack of 3. It makes it an attack of 4, including the poison, and we can double that to make it a potential attack of 8. Let's see what we draw. We've drawn a +1. So let's see if I can calculate that properly again. So we've got 2 for the attack. We gain 1 with our pot, that makes it 3. We gain 1 for the poison, it makes it 4. At this point, I'm not sure if we have to include this, which makes it 5, and then 10, or 8, which makes it 9. Either way, it's enough to kill off the bandit archer, which is fantastic. So that's great. The bandit's gone bye-bye. He's left us with a coin. Also, what we need to do, I've just added a token here for our warding strength um, that we used when the archer shot at us. Now I need to remember to give myself, Scoundrillex anyway, 2 experience for successfully using the smoke bomb. And of course that is a lost card now, so we have to be careful of how many cards we have left. We'll also remove our power potion, so that has been used. And that takes us to the end of the turn, so let's go to the next round. Okay, on this turn we're going to use Throwing Knives and Thief Snack for our Scoundrel. Hopefully we'll attack early enough in the turn so that we can use our range of 3 to attack both of those targets, and then without even having to move we can disarm one of the adjacent traps. So we should be able to do that with an initiative of 10. Max, he's going to use Shield Bash and Spare Dagger again. We took a short rest at the end of that last turn. Unfortunately, we lost Leaping Cleave, which is a useful card, but they're probably all useful in their own different situations. So we're going to try and shield ourselves, so because we aren't able to move on this turn, and we're going to use Spare Dagger for the range attack. So let's put in our initiatives here, 15 for the Brute and 10 for Scoundrillex. Let's draw. Okay, so one thing I forgot to do was get rid of this archer, so she's gone. Our Scoundrel does move first, so first thing we're going to do is let's use our Throwing Knives and let's just attack number 5 first, and we're going to attack him for a +0. So it stays at 2 attack. Number 5, -1, -1. And then we're going to attack number 1, and we attack him for +1. So that makes it an attack of 3. Now again, we can't use single out because they're adjacent to each other. And we can gain 1 experience for that. Now, Thief Snack, we can disarm one of these traps, and again, we're going to gain 2 more experience. So obviously we're going to disarm this trap right next to us and give us a free path into that 3rd room. Okay, with that done, I think we're going to pop our potion here and heal ourselves for 3 damage. So let's do that straight off the bat. 1, 2, 3. And we're also going to shield ourselves on this turn, so 1 shield until the end of the turn. Then we'll use Spare Dagger, attack of 3, range of 3, and give ourselves an experience. So let's see. Number 1 is the closest, and he is down to 2 health. 1, 2, 3, yeah, so it doesn't matter. Number 5 is still going to be able to move and attack us this round. So let's attack him. Attack 3, range of 3. Hopefully we can kill him off. So we did draw a -1 modifier. So attack of 3 goes down to 2. That is still enough to kill him, which is great. He's gone. Let's change him over to a coin at the same time. Okay, so now Max has had his turn. Our Bandit Guard number 5, he's going to move 1, 2 spaces and take a swing at Max for 3 damage. For 4 damage, one of those is negated by the warding strength, and so that takes it back down to 3 damage. Still not great. Okay, so with that warding strength, we can give ourselves one more experience point. And that finishes off the round. Let's move to round number 7. So for turn 7, we're going to use Backstab and Special Mixture for Scoundrelex. We're going to heal ourselves, and then we're going to run into that next room and turn ourselves invisible. And for our Brutius Maximus, we are going to disarm. We're going to look to disarm that bandit guard, and we're going to move and continue moving to the next room, and he can chase us then if he wants to. So let's put in our initiatives: 6 for Scoundrel and 10 for Brute. Okay, so he's got a range attack on this turn, the bandit guard. So firstly with our Scoundrel, I think we'll use Special Mixture to heal ourselves, and then we'll take a mad dash, make a mad dash into this room. So let's reveal this final room. Okay, so Scoundrelex has opened up this third room, which has revealed 2 normal bandit archers and 2 living bones. So let's put them into our Gloomhaven helper to start off with. So 2 normal bandit archers, we've got number 1 and number 5. And a living bones, we've got number 1 and number 3. So Scoundrelex has to finish off his move, so I'm just going to put him right here. He can plug the hole, and he's also going to turn invisible. So that will use our cloak. Let's turn that off so we know that we've used it. And that's the end of that turn. So now Brutius Maximus, he's way back down there. He's still fighting that number 5 bandit guard. He's going to attack him for 2 and disarm him. He hits him for +0, so that doesn't change our attack. It still stays at 2. So bandit guard goes down to -2 down to 2 health, and he's disarmed, so he can't pew at us for this turn. Now Brutius Maximus can go for a bit of a jog now because he is able to move again. Let's see, he can move 4 spaces. So 1, 2, 3. We may as well go here and pick up another piece of gold. There we go, we're rich. Now we move on to the bandit guard's turn. So he's got a range of 2, he can move 3, so he's going to have to move 1 space, even though he can't actually use his little bow and arrow or his dagger or whatever he's throwing at us. His rock, piece of moss, I don't know what he's using, but anyway, he can't use it. Okay, so bandit number 5, he's just going to move 1 space up, and that is his turn done. Now living bones, move 2, attack 3. Unfortunately, boys, you are not moving anywhere because there is an invisible wall there. But the bandit archers, they move next, and they are attack 3, range 5. Let's pull this up a little bit so we can see their statistics. Alright. Attack 3, range 5, so they actually don't move anywhere either. They can't target Scoundrelex because he's invisible. So this is another turn done. Let's move on to turn 8. So we've taken a short rest with Scoundrelex, and we've lost quick hands to our lost pile. We still have about 4 cards left, so Scoundrel X was never one to run from a fight, so he's going to face up to these guys and do what damage he can anyway. So let's see, we're going to use throwing knives and Thief's Knack again. Keeps coming up, Thief's Knack. We've got throwing knives with the range attack, and then we can use Thief's Knack to attack melee one of these bony guys. Our brute, we're going to use Eye for an Eye and Overwhelming Assault. Yeah, unfortunately I'm a bit worried about our health situation, so I'm probably going to use the heal on myself, and yeah, not too much else unfortunately. I really wanted to get into that last room with Scoundrel X and make a mess, but a bit far away, so might have to see what we can do on the next turn. Alright, let's get started. So Scoundrel X is moving on a move of 10. Eye for an Eye is 18. Let's draw. Again, the Immobilize. It's killing me with the Bandit Archers. Give us a break. So, Scoundrel X is no longer invisible. Pops up out of nowhere, and the Living Bones are now realising why they couldn't move any further forward in the last turn. Now we're in a little bit of danger too, because the Living Bones, it looks like they target one enemy with all attacks. And I think that is meant to mean that instead of targeting two separate enemies, they're going to be attacking me twice for 2 each time. So Scoundrel X is probably in a bit of trouble actually on this turn. But anyway, alright, let's just see what happens. So let's attack first with Scoundrel X. He is going to attack bony target number 3, and he is going to hit for -1. So attack of 3 -1 means we do 2 damage to the Living Bones, but unfortunately he has a shield too. We only do 1 damage in the end to number 3. Now we're going to use our throwing knives on the 2 archers, otherwise we're at a disadvantage. So attack 2, range 3, target 2. We can target both of them. And what I forgot to do too, we need to give ourselves the experience for using Thief's Knack there. And we're going to attack number 1, Bandit Archer first. And we get a +2. So that turns it into a 4. He's down to 2 health, which is really good. And now we're going to attack number 5. And we get a +1 on number 5 as well, so that's pretty nice. That means it becomes an attack of 3. So 1, 2, 3. He's down to 3 health. Good. Even if Scoundrel X does exhaust himself, hopefully Brutus Maximus can come in and clean up, finish off the job. Yeah, we give ourselves an extra experience for using throwing knives. And we're up to Brute. Brutus Maximus is not going to do a great deal other than heal himself, unfortunately. So we'll give ourselves +2 there. And we've got some green in the room. Not that it's going to matter, I don't think. And that's all we can do. Our Bandit Archer friends, they will stay where they are, because they don't need to go anywhere they're already within range. And they're going to attack for 1, so let's do number 5 first. He's going to attack for 1. There we go. Number 1 is going to attack for 0, which is excellent, but they do immobilize Scoundrel X. So you better hunker down, buddy. You're in trouble. Bandit card number 5, he moves for 2, so actually he only moves for 1. That's going to put him there. and he's going to attack for, wow, he's going to attack for 4. Alright. Gee whiz. He's going to attack for 5. So I think at this point, we're going to have to lose a card because 5 damage is too much for us to recoup. So I've got 2 cards in my hand, and I have lost Trample to the lost pile. So that at least negates that damage. Now, Living Bones, they don't have to move anywhere because they're right next to Scoundrelex, and the way I understand it, they're going to hit him 4 times. So we're going to have to draw modifiers for each of these attacks because I believe they're all separate. Yeah, they're all separate attacks. So let's start with number 1. His first attack of 2 is actually 3. Alright, his second attack of 2 is 2. Alright, we'll cop that. Near the other fella, he's going to attack for 3. Alright, so we're going to have to do something here, of course. We're going to have to lose a card, I believe. We've only got 2 cards in our hand, so one of them has to go. And it's our backstab card, so we've lost that. And that pretty much, if we don't die on this turn, it only puts us 1 turn away from exhausting anyway. So let's see what he does on his second. That's a -1, so he attacks him for 1. Alright. He's hanging on for grim death, but he's still alive. One thing I'm not sure of is with Warding Strength, I negated the damage. I'm not sure if I still should be putting a token here because it did cause damage, but it was negated. So maybe if somebody can let me know in their comments if I should have put a token here. I'm not going to put a token because it didn't end up leading to damage, but I might be wrong in this case. So just let me know, and I'll learn. I'll learn from it if I have made the mistake. So then that takes us to the end of this turn. Scoundrelex is still alive. Yeah, I think it looks like he's got 1 more turn, so let's go to the next round. Turn 9. So this is going to be Scoundrelex's last turn. So we're going to use Thieves' Knack again, because we did take a short rest. We lost our throwing knives, which would have been handy. It would have been nice to possibly get rid of those banded archers, but unfortunately we can't. So with special mixture we can actually heal ourselves, but there's not much point. So we're just going to attack with the bottom part of Thieves' Knack. We're going to attack with the top part of special mixture and do as much damage as possible. We also did a short rest with Brutius Maximus. We lost Sweeping Blow, and we're going to play Eye for an Eye and Grab and Go. So we're going to move as far as we can into that room. We're going to still kite that bandit card, and if he does manage to catch up with us, we've got the Retaliate at the top of Eye for an Eye, and that'll be enough to kill him actually. So I sort of hope he catches me because it'll save me chasing him later. So let's get these in. Scoundrelex is 23, so hopefully he acts early enough that he can actually do the damage. That's it. Alright, cross our fingers. Oh no! You are joking. Alright, so that's really disappointing because obviously the bandit archers are going to finish off Scoundrelex unless there is super luck involved. It's really disappointing because we could have caused some damage on those living bones and just made it easier for Brutus Maximus, but unfortunately, looks like our journey stops here for today. Now, Bandit Guard that we're kiting, he's going to move 3, so I might see if I can just move far enough for him to actually attack me. But he is attacking for 3, so anyway, I'll figure that out later. Let's do the Bandit Archers first. Now, Bandit Archer, let's say number 1, he's going to, he's got a range of 4, so he's well within range. And they throw down 3 damage traps as well, which is really annoying. What I might have to do is, if I've got a push card somewhere, I might try and push those living bones with Brutus Maximus into the traps. Alright, so Bandit Archer at number 1. Let's see what he does. Poor. Jeez. Alright, well, forget about having any chance at all. Scoundrelax, you're gone. You're out of here, buddy. Okay, so Scoundrelax is exhausted. He runs back to Gloomhaven with his tail between his legs. But he does pick up 8 experience and 0 gold for his trouble, so at least there's that. But yeah, it's really disappointing that he couldn't get a final attack in. Anyway, so the other Bandit Archer, I suppose, he will now move forward because the focus is now on Brutus Maximus. But first, we have to put down that hex trap, don't we? That 3 damage trap in a hex closest to that number 1 Bandit Archer. Alright, so we've thrown down the damage trap for our number 1 archer there. So number 5 archer, so I suppose he can move 2 spaces, so I suppose he'll move 1, 2. Not that it's really going to do anything, but it looks like he creates another trap there. And that's the end of his turn. So our brute. Alright, so I've changed my mind a little bit. I think instead of running towards that room, I'll let them come to me now. So with the top part of grab and go, I'm going to attack the guy next to me because I really don't want him to attack me for 3 damage, and I'll heal myself. So let's do the heal first. Puts us back to 8 and adds green into the room. Feels like I'm using this every 2 turns or something. Grab and go. We could loot, but we're not. We're going to attack. So we're going to attack for... Oh yes, of course. We're going to attack for -2. Very good. Very good. So this is going well, isn't it? Alright, so his turn is done. Didn't kill off the Bandit Guard, so the Bandit Guard's going to have a nice swipe at him. The Living Bones, move 3, attack 2. Let's see. Number 1 Living Bones, move 3. 1, 2, 3. He moves under the door. Alright, Living Bones is now on top of the door. And Living Bones number 3. 1, 2. He'll just move up to there. There's nothing more that they can do there. Now the Bandit Guard, he moves 3. He doesn't have to move anywhere. And he attacks for 3. Let's see what happens here. We do have shields though, so... Alright, so with our shields that makes it a damage of 1, which is not too bad. And the turn ends. Let's move to the next one. Alright, so Scoundrelax, he's gone home. He's on 99. Alright, so I've been trying to think this through for the past 15 minutes. I'm still not sure I've got it right. So we've got Provoking Roar and Shield Bash for this turn. So, like I said, I'm looking to get them, let them come to me. I didn't really want to put myself in the doorway because then the archers probably would be able to get me at the same time. So what I'll probably do, yeah, is use Provoking Roar to try and finally get rid of this stupid bandit guard who's annoying the hell out of me. And with Shield Bash, I'll add 1 shield. Now I think it's cumulative on top of my warding strength, so I'll turtle up a little bit, give myself 1 extra shield for the for this turn, and kind of hope that those bones come at me a little bit, and then maybe really have a good go at them on the next turn. So first of all, I want to attack this this bandit guard. So let me put in these. So let's go number 10 and draw. Okay, so the bones are coming at me. They move 4, and the bandit archers stay where they are, so that's not too bad, I suppose. Alright, the first thing we'll do is try and kill off this guard. At worst, he'll be disarmed, so let's see what we get. Okay, we get a +0. A +0 to our attack of 2, which means he loses his 2 health. He dies, finally. Okay, so bandit guard number whatever he was, number 5 is gone. And that's it. So now we add our shields. Living Bones number 1 is going to move 1, 2 spaces. And he's going to attack for 1. Now we have 2 shields, so he's going to have to get super... Not the attack I would like you to have missed on, but anyway, it's a 0, so... Alright, so number 3, Living Bones. He is also going to move 4, 1, 2, 3... No, you can't move through a wall. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's also going to attack for 1. Oh, of course. So 2 of that damage is negated. I think we have to add 2 tokens there, so let's do that. So that means he only takes 1 damage. He takes 1 damage and we gain 1 experience for that 4th use of warding strength. Their turn is now done. Bandit guard's dead. The bandit archers, they don't move. Scoundrelix is back having a beer in Gloomhaven. We're off to the next round. Okay, so in this turn we're playing Spare Dagger and Overwhelming Assault. I'd really love to push one of them into that trap. Well, it's going to have to be number 1. We don't have to move, but we can push him 2 spaces and push him straight into that trap, which would be lovely because there's no attack modifier or anything. It's just a straight, I believe it's a straight 4 damage, which would help. So again, ideally if we get to attack first, we'll be able to do that. But of course, they're going to shield up. Well, it doesn't really matter then. They're going to heal themselves, which is a little bit annoying. But all that means is that number 1 is still there for me to be able to push him. So, alright. So they're up to 2 shields. And number 3, he regains all his health. But that's the end of their turn. Brutius Maximus, he looks at number 1 and says, "You're mine," and gives him a nice big push. He's not going to move, he's just going to push him 2 spaces. So that's going to push him right into that trap. Living Bones number 1 goes flying. 1, 2. So he takes out that that trap, but he also takes 4 damage. Now, so since this is not an attack, the shield value doesn't actually come into play, which is great. So that means he just takes a straight 1, 2, 3, 4 points of damage, which is excellent. And for our second turn, we're going to try to finish him off with Spare Dagger, but we're going to have to get a little lucky, but +0 would be nice here. Okay, I've actually drawn a +1, so that will be fantastic because that kills him off. The +1 means the attack goes up to 4 minus his 2 shields, which still kills him. That helps. We get 1 experience for that. And that's the end of our turn. So the Bandit Archers, this turn they move 3, attack for 1 with a range of 5. Number 1 Bandit Archer is going to move first. He's going to move 1, 2 and 3. The other Bandit Archer, number 5, is going to move 1, 2, 3. Now, he can't even see me, he's not in the line of sight. So, them coming towards me suits me. And that's the end of the turn too. So, we are starting to run out of cards here. But it looks like we've got a couple of turns left, but it'd be nice to finish him off pretty soon. We're up to turn 12. So we've got Eye for an Eye and Overwhelming Assault. We're going to really try to kill off this other Living Bones on this turn with the top part of an Overwhelming Assault. So we're going to try and act early and go 18. And Scoundrel, put him at 99 and we'll draw. So it's pretty important that we kill off this Living Bones because again he's going to be able to attack us twice with attack 2 each time. Let's attack him for, we attack him for 6. Wow, I think our luck is actually turning. We've attacked him for 6 +2. So you can have as many shields as you want. But when you get attacked for 8, you die. So that's a lost card. But Eye for an Eye, let's see, should we move closer or stay where we are and just heal up? You know, I think I'd rather move in. They've only got 2 and 3 hit points this round. They're only attacking for 1. So, yeah, they'd have to get super lucky to actually kill me on this turn. So I should be okay, and then maybe the next turn I might be able to get in really close and maybe even finish them off. So let's replace this Living Bones with a coin first. And then let's just move our Brute up 2 spaces with Eye for an Eye. And I suppose we'll cross our fingers again because the Bandit Archer, say number 1 is going to have a shot first. He doesn't hit. Number 5 is going to have a shot. Oh, okay. He hits for 2. But I do have 1 shield. Now again, I'm only going to add 1 token here because the previous attack didn't actually damage me because of that -1 modifier. So I don't really see a point of putting a token on there, but I'll put, yes, of course the one for the second attack, which caused the 1 damage. So let's put 1 damage, and now I'll add that token. Okay, so that is done. And again, we move on to the next round. Since we're seriously running out of turns, we're going to go in for the kill. We'll use grab and go to move, and our shield bash to attack and stun. We do lose the card, but hopefully we kill off one of them. So we'll use 15 for our initiative and draw. Okay, so with our brute, we're going to move 1, 2, right here. Now I'll attack number 5. I do have an attack 4 on this, so at worst it'll still stun him, so he won't be able to attack me on this turn. And we've drawn a +0, so an attack of 4 is enough to kill off number 5. Okay, so one more enemy to go. We gain 2 experience there as well. And that's all. We lose that card. We've got 1 card left in our hand, so we're going to have to take a short rest. But first, of course, we have to finish off our Bandit Archer's turn. He is going to move. Now, let me think. How far would he actually move? Not sure. Look, if it was me, I suppose I'd probably move the maximum distance away while I've still got, well, I'm still within range. So, look, that's what I'll do. He's going to attack for 3. Hits him for 3, minus our last shield. So, attacks for 2, and we gain 1 experience for our final shield. And the turn is done. Last round. If I don't kill him on this go, we don't win. Okay, last turn. I've got my fingers crossed for a positive result. Now, I've had to take my final short rest. I initially randomly had to discard Spare Dagger, which is attack 3, range 3, but I really want to use that. I really want to use that instead of a melee attack, because I don't have any strong melee attacks left anymore. So I've decided to take the 1 damage, and I redrew and I lost grab and go. So my last turn I've got Spare Dagger and Eye for an Eye. Our initiative is 18, and we just hope that we get to move first. Okay. Jeez. 16 initiative. Alright. So move 4, attack 1. Look, at this stage it doesn't matter if he moves further away. He will probably either kill me, or if he misses, I kill him. So it all depends really on this draw here. So, fingers crossed, boys. Alright, so that's a +0, which means he attacks for 1. We don't have any shields left, so that's 1 damage. And that's it, that's the end of his turn. Brutius Maximus, with 1 health left, uses his Spare Dagger. Attack 3, range 3. Let's put our experience on now before we forget. Attack 3, range 3. What are we going to draw? Do we win? Or do we lose? Alright, here we go. We draw a -1. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 damage. Oh, thank God. We finished. I don't believe it. Alright. So, we successfully completed the scenario, unbelievably. I don't know how we did it. I probably cheated somewhere and I didn't realize it. So, if I did, apologies, let me know. Now, what are we going to do to finish our turn? I think we'll just, we've got a move we can make. So we'll just, unfortunately we can't get the treasure chest, so we'll just move into that space there. We'll pick up that gold as our final act. And that's it. We head back to Gloomhaven. So at the end of this scenario, we double our gold, so we'll actually finish with 8 gold. We'll gain an extra 6 experience, so we'll go up to 14. Our Scoundrel 2, he successfully helped me, so he'll go up to 14. He doesn't get any gold, however. Let's see, the scenario actually might give us something more. Alright, so here's a bit more of that text that I forgot to read earlier on. When we kick through into that final room, kicking through the door, you find yourself face to face with the reason these bandits chose this particular hole to nest in. Animate bones. Unholy abominations of necromantic power. Nothing more to do but to lay them to rest along with the remainder of this troublesome rabble. Well, that's just what we did. We did it the hard way, but we did it. So the conclusion is, with the last bandit dead, you take a moment to catch your breath and steel yourself against the visions of living remains ripping at your flesh. Your target is not among the dead, and you shudder to think what horrors still await you in the catacombs below. We've opened up number 2, which is the Barrow Lair, and a party achievement, first steps. Is that all? That's all. Alright, so no bonus gold, no nothing, no treasure, but we did finish. Okay, so the last thing we do before we finish up is we'll take a look at our cards again to see if we got any perk check marks. So unfortunately the brute, he needed to loot that treasure overlay tile. He just fell a bit short, so no ticks for him. The Scoundrel, I don't think he killed one of the elites. I don't think he killed the first. There was only 2, wasn't there? So I don't think he killed the first one, and he didn't kill the second one. Oh, he did kill the second one, didn't he? He did. Yeah, I think he might have actually. So I can't even remember anymore. So I'm going to go back on to that and check. But I'm pretty sure he did get it anyway. That's that. Let's have a look at our goals. So that hasn't changed as yet, but and we haven't got any money, so it's definitely not going to change. Our brute, that didn't change because he didn't gain any ticks, so we're no closer to becoming a legend. But anyway, that's where we'll leave it for today. Let me know in the comments below if I've made any mistakes, if you enjoyed this, if you hated it, whatever. If you like it, you know, I might do more of them. And if you did want to know how to create this for yourself, if you are interested, again, leave a comment and I'll try and make a video that sort of covers that information as well. So again, thank you very much for joining me for this video. Hope you did enjoy it, and maybe you got something out of it, whether it's something I did or a mistake I made. If you got something out of it, then it was worthwhile watching, I suppose. Thank you, and we'll see you again next time.